the Saint of Pine Hills.
Yes,
Did
St.
I say
Pine
it
Hills.
correct? Okay, so tell me about yourself, your name, where you're from, what you do, so everybody knows, and we'll start there.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Cory, and I was born and raised in Orlando. Been down here in South Florida area for about 13 years now.
Okay. So when you say South Florida, where in South Florida are you?
Right now I'm in the Treasure Coast, Fort Pierce area.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband has to drive there pretty much every day for work. Well, actually, the past few days he's had to go there, and that drive sucks.
Oh,
Coming from,
from like Fort Lauderdale or
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Yep.
not
He
fun.
usually just goes up to like Jupiter, but lately he's had to go all the way to the Fort Pierce area.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, especially the
Yeah.
morning and afternoon drives on 95 Turnpike. That's
Oh, for
that's
sure.
not
Yeah, definitely. He
yeah.
gets home exhausted. It really takes a lot out of you, those drives. I'm
It
a
does.
realtor, and sometimes driving around just all the time, it sucks the life out of you.
Right. Well,
So,
especially you
okay,
guys
so
down
you were
there.
in Orlando. You moved down about an hour and a half south,
Mhm.
and what is it exactly that you do?
So right now I've got like a ton of jobs up in the air.
Okay.
Um, so I've been working with delivering Uber Eats, DoorDash for the last 2 years or so as supplemental.
Hmm.
I work for a couple of I work for one church in Port St. Lucie and a Jewish temple in Port St. Lucie. Um,
Okay.
and then I do videography on the side of all of that.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
a couple of hats.
Yeah. You do what you got to do. I'll tell you, it's not
Yeah,
easy out there.
not at
It
all.
is not
Yeah.
easy.
Yep.
Okay. So, as far as your music, tell me a little bit about that.
So I do a cop out when I explain the genre and everything, and so I
Okay.
just say singer songwriter, but it has like an Americana feel to it, like a an early 2000s pop rock sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you performing out up there in Port St. Lucie? I haven't seen you on any local bills for me. I may have missed them. Not to say I see all of them, but do you do a lot of live performances up there in Fort Pierce?
Every now and then, I'm usually all over the state. Last time I was in South Florida, though, I think it was December. I was at Tough Times. That was my
Oh yeah.
last,
Okay.
like, yeah, my last actual South Florida show.
Yeah.
But
Like I said, that drive is crazy.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I do have a two shows coming up this weekend. One in Stewart this Monday, Labor Day. I'm opening up for uh, there's a throwback band Valencia. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so they're coming through playing a acoustic tour, and then on Saturday the 9th, I'll be playing in Melbourne for a benefit show.
Okay. Do they still have that like right there, like kind of like on the border of Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce area, like right on the beach? It was like a tiki hut area that had live music and whatnot. Are you familiar with that? Have
Um,
you been there or played there?
yeah, the Tiki Bar, is that what
Yeah.
it is? It's yeah, all that got mowed down and they put like a three-story restaurant thing on it.
God, what the
Yeah,
heck?
but
They're
there's still a
always
lot of
doing
live
dumb
music
stuff
down there,
like that.
right? There's
Man,
still a
that
lot of live
stinks.
music at the restaurants and stuff down there.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I was there. Oh my God. I was married to my ex-husband. I had sold his cousin a house up in Port St. Lucie, so we went over there one night when it was still there. But that was a long time ago. So, okay. When you How did you get started in music? You were in Orlando, and shockingly, Orlando's got a lot of music going on. Um, they got everything. They got the happiest place on earth. They've got
Right.
live music. They got everything. So, did you start before you moved down to Fort Pierce, or how did you get started?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was 12, I believe, when I first started. Um, all I really knew how to do was sort of sing, and so naturally, me and my friends created a punk rock garage band, and you just throw a bunch of oi oi ois and some words about how you like this girl in your class, and then you've got punk rock songs. So, but
That's exactly true. That's
then,
all right.
yeah,
So, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 36.
36. Okay, so that you graduated in 2006?
Yeah,
5. I'm good. I was close.
yeah,
Okay.
right over.
So what was popular then? I'm trying to remember because back I graduated in 94
Mhm.
and like that was like the eras of Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots and Green Day, all of those bands. Green Day was a little bit after Pearl Jam. I'm trying to remember. I was Smashing Pumpkins, diehard
Right.
Smashing Pumpkins fan
Yeah.
here. So what was the genre then? I'm trying to think of what was the popular music at that time.
It was kind of like a melting pot of genres, mainly in that pop punk vein,
Uh-huh.
and I would say probably a year or so after that, that's when it started turning to the more post hardcore metal, and those genres started taking the main stage.
Right.
But I was always in the pop punk scene and ska scene, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those
Oh,
shows.
that's so fun. Fukada, have you played with Fukada? They're so fun. That ska band.
Oh no, I don't
Oh
know.
my God, they're so fun. You've definitely got to check them out.
I used to. So I had a pop punk band from 2010 to 2014, 15, and we would come down to the talent farm at least once a month or every other month. We played with We're the Union, Run for the Coast, bands like that.
Okay.
But yeah, We're the Union was a pretty big ska band down there.
Okay. I love ska music. I'm pretty much one of those people though that like, depending on my mood, will depend on what my favorite is that day. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It can go as far as country too, which is just crazy.
Right? Yeah.
My
All
daughter
over.
just bought me tickets to go up and see Eric Church because I don't think anybody in this world doesn't like Eric Church.
Right.
And her boyfriend was like, "What, Kim? You're going to see Eric Church?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I love Eric Church," but it's just so funny because I go from loving Eric Church and George Strait to like one of my diehards also is 30 Seconds to Mars. So I go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
But I just am very envious of musicians because I could never do it ever. Like I watch what you guys do and it's just amazing to me. Like I can't walk and talk and I literally can't do it. I'm not just saying it. My whole way I'll be like until I stop walking and then I'll finish my sentence. So what you guys do is amazing.
Oh,
But let's talk. All right, your band name.
yeah.
I'm just gonna dig and see. Is it like an area that you were from in Orlando or
Yep.
what?
Yeah.
Ah,
You got it. Yeah.
that's
You're on it.
yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so what made you want to name your band after it? Was it like just like memories where your band started or what?
Yeah. So when I was there in the Pine Hills area in Orlando, that's kind of where I started that punk rock garage band and started actually really getting into music while living there. The Saint came just because I was like, I think I want to name a project just the word Saint, and then I looked it up and there was too many results that came back with like Saint Vincent and
Oh yeah.
like all these other very very popular bands. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll just name it Pine Hills. And then I looked that up, and there's so many bands with the word pine in it, and I was like, okay, never mind. And then my wife was like, why don't you just put them both together? I was like,
See,
nah,
it always
I don't
takes the
think.
lady to figure it all out and solve
Exactly.
all the problems.
That's it. And I was like,
Yep.
that might. And then it caught on. And a lot of people are like, well, that's a mouthful. And it's like, well, it works. And it's
No, it
worked for the
does.
last
It
3
does.
years.
It's
So,
definitely not anything anybody else has. So for sure.
yeah. I think speaking of ska, or going back to ska, I think there
Uh-huh.
is a band called Pine Hill Haints, is what some
Let me
friends were
look.
telling me. They're like, there's this
Pine
older
Hill
band.
Haints. What are
Yeah,
haints?
I don't know what a
Let's
haint
see.
is, but but they've been
What is
around
a
for a
haint?
while.
Pine Hill Haint. Oh, Kim, I'm showing my age again. Okay, Pine Hill Haints. Let's see. I'm gonna look this up. We're gonna find it. While I'm looking this up, you're from Orlando, but I noticed it sounds like you have a little bit of an accent. Like, did you ever go like live in the like North Carolina or somewhere?
I spent about 8 years in North Florida in Gainesville area.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know. When I moved down here, my roommate had a pretty thick accent, so it might have might have picked up
Oh
on
yeah.
that a
Oh,
little bit.
yep. That might be where you picked it up. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the Pine Hill Haints. They play ghost country music.
Oh,
I'm
country.
I am going to listen to them.
That's
That sounds
very
like fun too.
very particular genre, ghost country.
Yeah, they've got some super cool instruments here. Oh my God, this looks like something I would love. It's good this came up. Okay, I'm totally gonna look at that. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about your music. How bring me from the beginning to the end of your writing and what inspires you for your songs.
There's a lot that goes into it, and I
Hmm.
just released my second EP, Wild and Free, and I've been writing those songs since 2018.
Okay.
So I wish I could be one of those songwriters that can just knock it all out in one go, but for me, I have to get the idea, mull it over, go back and forth with editing, try it
Right.
out at a show, see what works, what doesn't work, and then it kind of comes together over a couple of years. But
Well, that's that. No, that you have to be happy with your end result. So if it takes a couple of years, that's the people must wait.
and with this project too, I've had a lot of I think a lot of creative freedom that I've never really had that much before in all of my former bands.
Right.
Um, so with this project, I just set out whatever genre piques my interest the most is what I'm going to write songs for each release. So
Nice.
my first release is self-titled, and that is a lo-fi sounding release. So that album, yeah, is comprised of different like chill step, hip, chill hop or whatever you call that
Right.
genre.
Okay.
That I just recorded and edited with some friends and had a great time doing it. And I've never done anything like that before. I've always stuck to that like that punk rock genre
Right.
sound. So that was my first release, and then this release, I leaned more towards that Americana vibe, and
Right.
actually got to play harmonica that I've been playing over the years, and actually track that and incorporate it into the sound as well.
You know, that's so amazing. Someone like my daughter's boyfriend plays the harmonica also and sings too. And I
Mhm.
literally almost pass out watching it happen because like how you guys have the air and like to be able to do all of the singing, the harmonica and breathe and not pass out is
Right.
incredible. Like and,
Well,
and and like to play the harmonica, that's amazing. Like that's probably like in my eyes one of the tougher instruments. Like you can't see what you're doing. You have to kind of
right.
feel it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like how did you learn that? Like I love the harmonica.
So I would listen to a lot of Ryan Adams when I was growing up as well,
Okay.
and I started just emulating the sounds that he made, and the whole world changed when I was like, "Oh, you take the key of the harmonica, and as long as you're playing in that key, and you're not going all crazy, and you just keep playing those same chords, you could do whatever you want on that harmonica, and it's not
But
really
did
going
you
to
like
sound bad."
self teach yourself? Like you
Yeah.
say keys, like I wouldn't even know. Like honestly. Like
Yeah, it was just
it's
I wish I would have taken lessons or I'm still down to take lessons, but it's one of those things where you just learn it by ear, and you're like, well, that doesn't sound half bad.
That's talent. That is talent. I mean, is it true if you go really fast, you could cut your lips?
I've never had that. Um, if I don't trim my mustache, it'll pull the hairs out when
Oh,
I'm playing sometimes.
oh,
So
I bet.
that's the only thing I've ever run into with it.
Right.
But
So are you a multi-instrumentalist?
yeah. I'm not a professional by any means at all of them, but yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
I
do
can
it.
play a couple of them. Yeah.
What's your main go-to instrument?
Um, I would actually say, I mean, it is an instrument, is vocals for
Okay.
voice. 'Cause,
Yeah, it is an
yeah,
instrument.
yeah, just that was the one thing I started on when I was 12, and I just went from band to band after that singing,
Right.
and then I didn't really pick up a guitar and actually try to learn it until I was probably about 20. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, and then I learned,
Yeah.
oh, I I need to actually figure out this thing so I can explain my ideas to other people rather than just saying it sounds like this.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like my daughter, she's a drummer. Like that's where she's really, really good. But she decided she wanted to start her own thing, and so now she sings and she plays guitar.
Oh wow,
And she's self-taught. She's not by far like she's not like, oh my God, she's a master guitarist, but it sounds fine to me. Like for us people that don't know what the heck to do, it sounds wonderful. I'll tell you that. Okay. So,
well,
but
you guys
okay.
are you're
So
the
what
sport.
do you think was the hardest song for you to write? Like you say it can take you a couple years to write a song. Which one did you struggle with the most and why?
So for this release, it was definitely the song Rebirth. Um, and that song came out of a lot of hurt and anger. And over the years, it would soften and change. And so now I'm in a totally different space than I was when I first started writing. Um,
Hmm.
and I see the song in a different light. Even though some of the words are kind of it's about reconciliation and
Uh-huh.
trying to forgive others for hurting you. Um, I really grasp that idea now rather than at the start of the process because I was just a hot mess when when I first started writing it
Right.
and just writing out of just guttural um, emotions and just basically just spilling out whatever I could think onto the page.
Right.
um, but yeah, so it took a little bit of editing and going back and forth, and I present it now as a way of taking any anger, any hurt, any resentment that you have in life, and just letting it go. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm at now.
It's really good therapy, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't it funny though how some people will interpret your songs in a way that helps them? Like how you say it's like it means something kind of different to you now. Like it's like I've interpreted some of like the local bands. I love the local bands. Like
Mhm.
there's so much talent. Like and some of them their songs like I'll get goosebumps because I'm like
Yeah.
wow, and I'll like think I have this song figured out, and then I find out I am completely off. But I'm completely off yet not. Like
Yeah.
it's like this one song by this one band. Like I really felt like it should have been like at the end of a movie where like the man and the woman are like falling in love. They realize it and they're like running to each other and they're like so happy that they've both realized they're in love and they're going to live forever happy. And so I told him that's what I felt. But he was saying he likes to be very cinematic, which
Hmm.
totally came through because I pictured that movie. And
Yeah.
he's like, but it's that particular song was about the love between a mother and a daughter. But I
Mhm.
felt the love. I just didn't have the right people. So, but
Okay.
it's still like I felt it. Like I get goosebumps talking about it. That song's amazing. Like it made me feel it. So, but isn't it like wonderful when you hear, hey, man, I felt that song. That was like unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah, and just to know that your art meant anything to another individual, let alone a stranger
Right.
that you never met. You're like, wow, that means a whole lot for artists. Um, Definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And I do the same thing
Um,
too when I listen to friends' music. I always have a video played in my head of what I envision is the song is about and what's going on.
right. How often are you right or close to being right?
um, I very rarely uh, talk about it with them afterwards. I've done it every
Oh,
now and
really?
then, and yeah, it's just one of those things where I've been engulfed in music for so long, where it's just like, okay, like I appreciate that art, and I probably know what it's
Yeah,
about, but until we have like a one on one, then I'll just be in the dark, I guess.
right. Okay, so speaking of that, you've been like 12 years old. You started with your singing, and your whole career down the music lane. You're 36 now. You're married. Do you have children?
No children.
No children.
No.
Um, you're doing your thing like to get the bills paid. When do you like? Obviously, you're hoping something great will come out of the music thing. Like, and it takes a really, really, really understanding lady to be on your side through this.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Like, how long do you think you're going to stick with this? You know what I mean? Like forever, for the rest of your life, and like, tell me what you visualize yourself like 10 years down the road. And we could do that because you've legitimately been doing this for much longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, even if the shows stop, stop performing for shows and things like that, I'll still always have something involved with music
Yeah.
um, for the rest of my life. I really enjoy assisting my friends and other musicians anytime they have questions or if they even ask me to play an instrument for their band or their project. I always
Hmm.
enjoy doing that as well. I
Yeah.
honestly thought when my band broke up in my last band was a alt punk melodic fusion band, and we played and toured extensively for about 6 years, and then when that came to an
Hmm.
end, I thought
Wow.
I was done playing music. Um, until I kept getting invited to go play festivals and continue out, and I was like, I can't do it with that band, but maybe I could take some songs that have been on the shelf and do something with that. So that's where Saint Pine Hills came from. Was
Right.
my first venture as a solo artist, and I went into it with a totally different mindset than I did with
Right.
my former bands. With those bands, my main goal, yeah, was to try and make something out of that, make touring or performing or writing or recording music, make that a sustainable career. With Saint Pine Hills, it is an enjoyment,
Yeah.
more or less, yeah. And
Yeah.
when I'm invited to play shows, if it's feasible for the schedule, then I'll play. But
Yeah.
I'm not trying to just kill myself all by performing and overexerting myself more
Yeah.
so, yeah, than I used to do in my former
Yeah.
project. But yeah, 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
46, yeah, I'll still be playing. It might look totally different, but yeah.
I hear you. I'm 47, so me in the crowd is much different than me 10 years ago.
Right? Yeah. Well, even now, it's I'd probably go find somewhere to sit if after a little bit.
Do your chair dancing. No.
Right? Yeah.
But no, that's like you have to do what you love. Now, your wife, is she a musician at all, or is she just super
She
supportive?
knows. Yeah, she can play like piano and she has the ear for it, but she was never really interested in playing in a band or performing or anything like that.
Right.
We've been together. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary,
Okay.
and
Nice.
she's been with me for a bunch of different bands. So
Yeah.
she's gone to shows, she's had her fill, and she's like, "All right, yeah, I'll support you, but probably more so from home."
He's gotten to that point.
Yeah, it's like
No,
I've
but that's
traveled, I've
that's
done the
nice
crowd.
though. It takes a lot for someone to, because this is a lot of work. Like
It is, yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun,
it is so much
but
fun. Yeah,
it is a lot of work, and a lot of people don't understand that or appreciate it.
hmm
Like I just have so many, because I know so many bands because of what I do. I have so many people reach out and they're like, "Oh, we're looking for this band. Can you help us?" And then I instantly ask. I act like this pro bono manager for all these bands, but I'll be like, "Yeah, well, if you want that, this is how much it's going to cost." And they're like, "Oh, well, they make money. Like, what do you think they do? Of course, like."
yeah,
They're not just going to come. Like, there's bands that are going to
right.
do stuff for free for, like to have fun and stuff. But if you're wanting a band to come and represent your business to bring people in, you're going to pay them. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah,
so it's, but some people just really don't understand that whole thing. Like, it's
yeah.
it's crazy to me, and maybe it's just because I've been involved in it so long because of my daughter. But it's crazy that people really just look at the local bands as like not professionals in a way. And they've
hmm
actually, some of them are like, one person said, well, it's not like they're a professional band. They are
Oh,
absolutely a professional
yeah,
band,
yep,
100%. Like,
yeah,
you're looking for someone and they have what you want, and you're telling them that they're not a professional band. So it kind of bothers me. I kind of get very, very overprotective of all the bands that I've met and come in contact with. But yeah, so let me talk about the local scene up there in Fort Pierce. I'm not very familiar with it up there. Like, I know some bands as far as Port St. Lucie,
hmm
but um, how is the scene up there? Like, you came down here, you played Tough Times in December.
hmm
Um, is it much different than down here? And like the venues, do you have many venues up there?
Not really. We have some hit or miss places. More so like what you were saying earlier with the tiki bar. There's
Hmm.
some bar and grills like that have stages, and it's only because we have a local promoter as well, and he
Okay.
puts on a lot of shows. That's really where a lot of our shows come from recently, anyways. I would say they haven't really picked up though until very recently, maybe the last year or so. That's when
Yeah.
shows started coming back around again. Um,
Right.
but as far as like an actual venue, that's what they mainly focus on. Um, we don't really have anything DIY per
Yeah.
se. We do have the Sunrise Theater that's in downtown Fort Pierce, but that's
Hmm.
like a national, international known
Okay.
venue that brings in all these big names and
Right.
charges a lot to even go. I haven't even been able to go because it's the ticket
Yeah.
prices are too much. But I think coming up soon they have like for instance Hawthorne Heights is bringing
Okay.
an orchestra that's coming through and they're playing this
Okay.
theater. So we have that, and but other than that, it's usually like dive bars and
Yeah.
the offshoot coffee shop that will let you host a show
Hmm.
there, or we have like a video game arcade bar in Stewart
Oh
that
yeah, we have
yeah
Glitch down here. That's a super cool one. Yeah.
yeah yeah those I appreciate those, but those are kind of
Yeah.
like a every now and then type of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've noticed, like you said, things pick up a little bit within the past year. Like you said, I started this. Well, I've been involved in the music scene for a really long time because my daughter, I used to like manage her band, and then they dismembered, and she has her own thing And that's why I started my podcast, because she started that band when she was 14. And she kind of wanted, when she started her new thing, to just, like, I guess, have the satisfaction of doing it herself as opposed to mommy helping her. Now, though, I do have a text proof. Last night, she was begging me for help. But so she, but it's like, I started the podcast because I missed getting out and meeting all the bands. Because, like I said, I am, like, blown away by what these bands can do. Mm-hmm. It's shocking to me that, like, it's just amazing. So, but when I started this, it was like all the bands, like there were so many bands, yet not so many bands. And now there's a shit ton of bands that, like, I'm like, where did they all come from? And even, like, the kava bars are now, like, opening up. Like you said, the coffee shops, we've got the kava bars here that are opening up for, like, full bands, and they're like 250 square feet. And it's like they're just squeezing bands in everywhere now, which is super cool. Mm-hmm. But like, they're having a place to play. But it's just crazy how this, like you said, this last year has just gone crazy. And I could tell you there's like 100 new bands that I have met, like, in the past year. Yeah. And it's like they all came, it's like they all got together and said, okay, let's do it now, because they all came at one time. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And it's, because I used to be pretty well versed in the South Florida scene when Talent Farm was, like, that main venue in Pembroke Pines. Mm-hmm. There was a great South Florida scene, and we could play, even if we couldn't play at Talent Farm, there was always, like, some type of dive bar that would allow for all ages shows or something like that, or some venue space that would allow for it in South Florida. And then that all kind of shut down once Talent Farm closed, around, like, I would say that 2016, 17 time frame. A lot of the all ages opportunities started closing. And so it was like I kind of fell out of the scene down there. There wasn't really a whole lot of opportunities to come down, except for, like, Propaganda and Lake Worth. But that was pretty much the only venue that survived throughout a lot of the change.
Yeah. So, you bring up a good point that I haven't asked this question in a while, and I think it's a good question since you're older than a lot of the bands that I've spoken to. Like, all ages. Like, I am a big all ages. Like, I am all for it, because the more the merrier. And a lot, and it might also be because a lot of the bands that I talked to, some of their members are under 21, and some of them are over. But it's like, I don't like to exclude anyone. I mean, granted, let's maybe say, like, 16, 17 is the minimum age, whatever. You don't want little children running around. But like, how do you feel about that? Because I just feel like you got these followers, and they may not be 21, so I don't want to exclude them. But coming from a musician that's working in the scene, and you're older, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I think I lost you. Oh, okay. Do you see me?
I can see you. For a second, you disappeared.
Yeah, that was weird. I would say I really cut my teeth in Gainesville with. I was in 3 different bands, totally different genres, and we had a local dive bar right on the main street that, for one reason or another, touring acts would stop through Gainesville, and they would play there, and I had the opportunity to open up for a lot of bigger names. But for those shows, they would open it up to all ages, even though it was a dive bar. But they would open up to all ages, and that way it allowed for teenagers and those under 21 to come and see the show, and that would help pack out the venue. It would bring its own issues sometimes. There were a couple times cops came out and tried to say, like, well, they're all underage drinking, and it's like, no, the bartender's watching that, making sure none of that's happening. but it would just bring problems every now and then. But I always enjoyed it because it brought more people that have never really been involved in a live music scene.
Right.
So it allowed for the first time. I would even like my sisters. I have sisters that are about 8 years younger than me, and when when I would play some shows, they would come out, and that was like their first venture into, oh, this is what live music looks like, or you mean not everything looks like a Jonas Brothers concert or something like that. Like, so I was like, no, it looks way different. It's a lot smaller. The venue kind of smells.
Yep. You may get sick in the bathrooms,
right.
but
it's very loud, like super loud. Yeah. But yeah, so I enjoyed that, and I still enjoy playing all ages shows now.
Yeah.
Because I've had to learn when it comes to shows that are mainly 21 and up, it does bring a different vibe.
Yeah.
Mainly because we're all older, and some people react to it differently.
Yeah.
Than others. But when you have people that are younger, they do bring that youthful energy, and so that can help a performance.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, really I know if it was just a bunch of 36-ish guys going to see a show, we're not gonna necessarily be throwing our bodies around it in enjoyment, because it's like, oh no, that hurts.
Yeah.
But it's like a kid can go do that.
True.
Like,
yeah. That's funny. But just to coattail on what you said about like the cops showing up and stuff, I had rented out an amphitheater down here for a 2-day festival, and because I thought that the kids would have so much fun playing an amphitheater, and but they said that we could not have alcohol. And I was like, oh, damn, like, what is going to happen? Like, so I told them, you can bring coolers, you can bring chairs, bring whatever you want. I don't care what you're doing in the car. Don't get caught, but it cannot be on the grounds, because they wanted to use their own vendor for the alcohol or something, and it would have just cost a ton more money. So I was like, all right, I'm going to see how this goes. I'll tell you, these kids are very respectful. I think they appreciate that I've done some stuff for them. Very respectful. I did not want to run into one problem. I was probably the biggest problem. Like, damn, I can't have a beer. Like, what the hell? Right? Yeah. But they all came. They had so much fun. They were perfectly fine. Like, I had coolers of water set up. Like, they were perfectly fine with that, and they had the best time for 2 days. So, I think that people automatically assume, oh, it's all ages. You're going to get a lot of punks in here, and they're going to cause problems. And I just feel like that's just being super judgmental before anything happens. So I was super excited, like, that they really, really came, and they were just so well behaved. And I was like thanking them, like, thank you, God. Like, I'm sure that they had probably something in their car, but they didn't get caught. And I was their age once, and I was doing that same thing. So just don't get caught, so I don't lose my deposit, and we'll be good.
Right? Yeah.
So
we'll all have a better time.
No, that was a lot of fun for them. And but it's true. Like the cops showed up at your event, and it's like no one was. It's like the bartenders were looking. Like, we don't need you here.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's only just because a word or something they heard, kind of thing. Where it was like, no, we're all doing our own, like, self-policing of the
exactly, because you don't want issues yourself. Like, the people they're playing, the owners, no one wants issues. So So all right, I don't know if I'm going to know any of these, but who are your favorite local bands?
So for my area, there's been like a revolving door, as naturally that happens. Because even myself, once I would get a band to like the 5-year mark, that's when everything started getting real, and
Yeah.
some people
And that's
reevaluated
long
their
for a band to
lives.
stay together.
Yeah, they're like, most musicians, we were like, nah, I want to go do like a career or something like that. I don't want to spend any more money on this. And so I was like, okay, fine. But there's one band that's been around for as long as I've been here, well over 10 years. Their name is In Motion. They're from the Hobe Sound, Port St. Lucie area. But they're just I would say like post-hardcore alternative band that they kind of sound like As Cities Burn.
Okay.
They've got that flavor to them, and they're only a two-piece. Most of the time,
Oh,
it's just a
wow.
two-piece. Yeah, I've been friends with them for a while, and they're one of my favorites. Another band is honestly probably they're from like the Stewart area, and they have that American football sound, the really indie rock vibe. But they've been around for a while as well, and always put on a great show. And then that's examples of the older bands, and there's a new band called Wonder Club. That's I would almost liken it to like the Tony Hawk soundtrack, Pro Skater soundtrack, like punk rock days, and it really reminds me of like when I was starting with music and enjoying music, writing, but they're three super talented guys that are from Port St. Lucie, and they've been playing a lot recently, and then even getting out of town, and that's something that doesn't really happen much here. I'm sure it's the same way down there, but you kind of get stuck in your own city and you never play anywhere else. But these guys are pretty inspiring because they're actually making the leap to see what happens if they play in Jacksonville or Orlando or something like that.
What's their name?
Their name is Wonder Club.
Okay, Wonder Club. That's what you said, yeah.
Wonder Club, yeah. And so they're kind of I think they're my favorite newer band, local band in the area. Yeah. A lot of talent. And it used to be there was just mainly a metal scene here.
Oh, really?
Metal hardcore scene, and that was like it. But so when I was playing pop punk, we would really just stick out like sore thumbs anytime we played local shows. So we would always leave and go play with our friends' bands in different cities. But now I think it's a different range. We have a lot of different genres currently. Yeah.
Do you know any of the bands down here? Are you familiar with any of them down here?
The one band I played with, Stumble Steady, is.
Okay, I had Stumbles. Yeah. Oh, I like them.
Yeah, they're so fun. Great. Yeah, very. Talk about talent. Sheesh, yeah, they're so
very
so
talented.
I played with them at Tough Times, and also the Chans.
Oh my God.
Play with them
the
too.
Chance.
Yeah.
Matt, he does like my he designed my Up Next logo.
Oh, okay.
And and my flyers. Yeah, like he's a graphic designer, so and I always try to like support the local scene. So anything like if I find out that you do something like Billy from Billy Doom is Dead, he's a painter, so it's like, and I'm a realtor, so I'll refer him like all the painting work, and then like Matt, he does the graphic designs. So he just actually designed my daughter's birthday card invitation as well.
That's cool.
Like anything I need designed, I reach out to him.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but I love the Chans.
Yeah.
They just played my Up Next at Revolution Live.
Okay.
That
was Revolution.
yeah. I had a kind of like a battle of the bands thing. I did like 9 weeks, not 9 weeks in a row, but a few months. It was 9 different things where it was 3 bands a night. And I did like an overall leaderboard for people that came out and voted in person for the bands. And then the top 9 bands played at Revolution Live.
Wow.
So it was like the top bands. 9 out of 24 or something like that.
Wow.
What's that?
So 9 bands on the same day?
Yeah, it was all the same day. They had 30-minute sets.
Oh, wow. That was a long
Yeah, it
day.
was fun. It was fun. It was just
Yeah.
it was yeah, we ended it at like 1 a.m. but we started at like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the turnover there because everybody there is so professional, like it was my easiest show ever.
Oh, okay.
Like my biggest venue, but easiest show. But it's because they have all those guys that are just so used to doing it. It's like, you need a 5-minute turnover. Okay, we're going to do it. So, but that was fun. But yeah, the
awesome.
Chans are fun.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Yeah. They had, and I don't think I think he was just filling in. His name was James, was filling in on drums for them. And I think he's kind of like a local, he's a pretty popular local musician that, from his social media, I've seen he does a lot of drum covers, but he smashes it. He's so good.
Yeah.
Such a talented drummer. But
I'll have to look up that show and see.
Yeah, I think
who the drummer was.
I think he made the Chan songs like twice as fast as they usually are, which they're already pretty fast. So it was a good show. Yeah, that was a great time. I got to get back down to Tough Times because I enjoyed that venue. It was a pretty cool spot. I haven't really seen anything like that in a while down there, anyways. But
yeah. Chalo. It was 3 months ago. It was their 1-year anniversary for Tough Times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he put a lot of work into that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You're older, so it's like whatever. I usually call this segment "You Can Tell Mom Anything," but you're older. I can't be your mom, so you can just tell me anything.
You'd be a teen mom.
Just questions so people can get to know you as a person. Okay. My first question, you already answered that at the beginning, what you do outside of music. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done a tour? And if so, what was your favorite stop?
Yeah, I've played a lot of different places, mainly up the East Coast, a little bit to the center. My favorite, I have to think about that one. As in, like, not just the show, but like the city and.
I guess maybe both.
I think every time I go to Nashville, I always have a great time.
Yeah.
No matter where I end up playing. Recently, it's been someone's backyard. Because
those are always so fun, though.
Yeah, venue issues. I have played a couple venues in town, but I really enjoy every time I go to Nashville. I know a lot of friends there. One of my sisters actually lives there now, so I got family there. But the vibe I always get in Nashville is great. Even though everybody there is insanely talented, there's still a lot of like love and support from the community.
Yeah. And that's so important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So my next question, I already know the answer to also. You're married. You have your wife. You guys have been together for a long time. You're going to have your 10-year anniversary. How did you guys meet? We'll change the question to that.
Yeah. Okay. So we met through friends at a graduation. My bassist at the time from my band was graduating high school and invited me out to go along. Just like, whatever, I guess. So we met there and just were interested and got to know each other slowly over the next couple of months and then started dating after that.
And the rest was history.
Right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bands later or something like that.
And she's still around. She's definitely a keeper.
Yep.
Okay. So my next question is, if you could share a meal with 4 individuals, alive or dead, who would they be and why?
Oh, 4. That's a lot. That's a I mean, it would be, it's always interesting because you would think that if you just said something like celebrities or musicians, and when you see all the backgrounds of it, they're not really like people. Like what is it? People person. They're not really like talkative and into it as much
Oh,
as
you're
they're
so right.
so
Yeah.
introverted. So it's like instead of going that direction, I would even just say um, it would be interesting to have a meal with different philosophers or different
Hmm.
um, writers and people that really just dove into what life is about and just
Right.
see what throughout. And I don't really have any that are off the top of my head. Um, yeah, there's different like you know um, what is it monks and people like that that
Right.
have and saints throughout the time or throughout uh, life that I've heard different sayings from, but it would be interesting to share a meal and just see like what does a normal conversation sound like to these super deep thinkers, and then yeah, what does it even mean to them to share a meal with someone they don't know?
Right.
But yeah, I don't really have any like actual names off the top of my head. So,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So, to date, what's your proudest accomplishment?
For music or for
Anything.
just in general.
Yeah.
Um, proudest accomplishment. I would say, yeah, I mean, um, being able to buy a house and, and actually
That's a
uh,
huge one. It's
have that.
huge,
It's
especially
yeah, I
in Florida.
never right exactly. Yeah, I never thought. I was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to own a home. I was like, but I mean, I mean, the bank still owns it, but anyways, it's it's like
Right.
still have that. Yeah, but that was a pretty big accomplishment that um, younger me didn't really think would happen at such an early age. I just thought I would wait until I was in my 50s or whatever to
Mm-hmm.
actually be able to afford it. But yeah,
Yeah, and you did it. Look at you.
yeah, and we're here.
So, as far as music goes, who who do you feel was your biggest inspiration?
When I started off, it was for my one of my early birthdays, 11, 12, whatever it was. My friend gave me the Enema of the State album from Blink, and that was really what piqued my interest into okay,
Uh-huh.
you can write fun music, and, and it's and then that's a thing. And then from there, it just spiraled into different genres and
Right.
people, singer songwriters like Ryan Adams. They really had me focus in on the lyrics as well as, and then
Yeah.
uh, I mean, I also love Billy Corgan and everything that he's done.
Yes.
So from Pumpkins to Swan and even some solo stuff that really changed my mind of okay, it doesn't everything doesn't have to be this 4/4 verse chorus structure. You can have
Mm-hmm.
fun with it and change it all. So yeah, there's a
Yeah.
couple of inspirations that I've had.
Okay. So, as far as your music, do you plan on releasing any new stuff anytime soon? Just gonna go with what you have. What are your plans for that?
Yeah, so this one I just released in late July. This Wild and Free is
Hmm.
that album.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so 6 songs from there I've been working on
Oh, I
over the
love that.
years and just trying to promote that for the next, I'd say a couple of months or so, next year or so, while I'm starting to write and work on songs that have been also on the shelf while
Right.
working on this album. But yeah, so I would say it'd be a little bit before I release anything new. But right now I'm focusing in on this new release of this EP.
Okay. Do you have any merch or anything that anybody could purchase or to support the
Yeah,
band?
yeah, I've got a bunch of stickers, and then also have these physical CDs, and I have T-shirts as well. Let's see. I don't know if I can put this whole T-shirt. This is like the biggest T-shirt I have. But yeah, I've got a couple of things for purchase, and this is from my self-titled EP.
Oh, I love that. I haven't. That's a nice color too. I love that.
Yeah, so it's like that's my only shirt design I have now, but then I've got some sticker designs, just 2 right now, but yeah, I've got there's Bobby and the
Oh my gosh. I love that. That's so funny.
And then just the cover of the EP, my first EP.
Oh,
Lo-fi
nice.
one. Yeah, just a couple of things here and there. But yeah. So I usually restock whenever I go out on the road. So I had everything when I went out to up to Illinois in July. So sold a couple of things, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
was able to make my way through.
So, like, let's say, like, if I wanted to buy something, where would I go to find it?
So I have all the merch for online order right now on Bandcamp. And so
Bandcamp,
it's
okay.
just, saintofpinehills.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And are there any final words that you would like to say to anybody listening?
I mean, I'm really grateful for you and for, I know you started this for your daughter, but reaching out and expanding it to other acts and bands in your area. And even to me, all the way up here in Fort Pierce. Yeah, thanks for taking the time out and using this it's a great promotion, and it's awesome to meet new people and to just talk about our love for music.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you. And I'm definitely going to be placing my order for my merch, and hopefully other people do too, because that's where you guys make most of your money. They really need to sell that merch. So we have to push that. And do you have anything coming up where people could check you out live?
Yeah, there's 2 opportunities I was saying earlier this weekend, Labor Day weekend. Monday, September 4th, I'll be playing in Stuart at East Ocean Pub. And the final, I believe it is September 28th, 29th, I'll be playing in Melbourne at Iron Oak Post Bar for a benefit show. And so 2 opportunities in September, and I believe 1 more opportunity in October. For now, anyways. Things change.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I usually try to play at least once every other month when it comes to live performances.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's important. And you'll have your merch there, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And okay, then. Well,
Yeah.
I am out of questions, and I feel like I definitely need to get out and see you. Hopefully, I'll make my way up there and make a road trip of it. And if you're ever down here, please make sure you post it on your Instagram page. Tell everybody where they can find your Instagram, like Spotify, everything like that.
Yeah, so everything is just Saint of Pine Hills. It's SAINT, Saint of Pine Hills. That's all the ats and the forward slashes and all that good stuff. So Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, it's all just Saint of Pine Hills. Thankfully, that wasn't taken, and that was another reason why I enjoy using this name.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stay close watching your page to see if you do come local. If not, then we'll have to hit the road. But I'm definitely going to catch you, and I'm going to place my order. I have a mini fridge here. You don't see it, but I have one. And I have all the stickers from bands that I've had on my podcast. So I definitely have to add stickers for you now. And I want them both, but I really want that guy, That was pretty cool. But okay, well, I appreciate your time, and like I said, I really enjoyed this. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, or did you say it all?
I think we said it all. I appreciate your time. Yeah, thanks so much.
Oh, no, thank you so much, and I'm sorry for all the delays. It was all my fault, but I'm glad
No,
we
it's
got it
all
put
good.
together.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I appreciate getting it done though. That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
one more
definitely.
thing. Yeah, thanks so much.